Did you make a beautiful, glossy, glidey lip balm this summer that was just perfect? But now that it's winter, it's just not cutting it anymore? Today, I am going to share my creamiest lip butter formulation ever, and I'm also going to share 4 of my top creamy formulation secrets that you can incorporate into all of your projects that you wish were just a bit creamier. Before we can make this beautiful lip butter, we need to weigh out the ingredients for our 14 tube batch. Our first ingredient is one of my all-time favorites. It's what makes this formulation smell mouth-wateringly of chocolate. It's a firm, brittle butter that melts slowly into a rich, satiny oil when massaged into the skin. You'll need 23.12 grams of unrefined cocoa butter. Mine is from Baraka Shea Butter and it smells divine. The next 4 ingredients are where we get all the creaminess of the lip butter. As lovely as cocoa butter is, and it also has butter right there in its name, it really doesn't have a consistency that I would call buttery. So I have used 4 of my favorite creaminess boosting ingredients to give us both cocoa and cream. If you're working on something and you wish it had more long-lasting creaminess, try incorporating some of these ingredients into that formulation. It'll help. The first ingredient not only brings some serious long-wear creaminess to the formulation, but it also hardens this lip butter into a firm yet creamy stick. This is the main ingredient that ensures the creaminess both happens and sticks around on your lips. It's a star ingredient. You'll need 17 grams of beeswax. Refined or unrefined will do. If you're wondering about vegan alternatives, please read the free partner blog post linked in the description box below. Our next creamy ingredient really shines when paired with beeswax. This viscous oil adds a bit of gloss to the lip butter and boosts richness. Weigh out 6.8 grams of castor oil. Creamy ingredient number 3 has been loved for dry, irritated skin for centuries. Its naturally rich, ointmenty consistency is perfect for adding creaminess to formulations, especially ones for winter use. Now, the downside of this ingredient is that it reeks. It smells terrible. And that is why we are using 10.2 grams of refined deodorized lanolin today. You can usually get this at the drugstore sold as a nursing ointment. There are links and more details in the free partner blog post. Our last creamy ingredient is a bit of a weird one, but you can get it at your local health food store. It's a thick, sticky, syrupy liquid that takes the place of a lot of the liquid oil I might use otherwise. It adds tons of creaminess and moisturizing goodness to our lip butter. I love this ingredient and think it's really worth having around if you're a fan of creaminess. You'll need 9.86 grams of organic liquid soy lecithin. Liquid sunflower lecithin should also work, but powdered lecithin, soy, or sunflower will not. And now we've got just 2 ingredients left. The first one helps extend the shelf life of the lip butter by delaying rancidity. Weigh out 0.34 grams of vitamin E. And lastly, we'll add some chocolatey color and a hint of shimmer with 0.68 grams of a warm brown mica. These ingredients are our cool down phase, so we'll set them aside for later. Our next step is transforming these ingredients into a decadent, creamy, chocolatey lip butter. Combine the cocoa butter, beeswax, castor oil, lanolin, and lecithin in a heat-resistant glass measuring cup with a pouring spout. You'll be really happy to have that pouring spout later on. We'll heat our ingredients in a way that protects them from extreme heat. Place the measuring cup in a pan that has about an inch of water in it and heat it over medium-low heat. This creates a water bath, which keeps our ingredients from getting too hot. They can't get any hotter than the temperature of boiling water this way. While the ingredients melt, get your lip balm tubes ready. The 68 gram batch we are making today will fill 14 regular lip balm tubes. I'm bundling my tubes up with a rubber band to reduce the risk of a horrible melted lip balm dominoes disaster. You might find you need an extra tube or 2 to get them to stand up nicely, or you might need to make 2 clusters of tubes. It'll all depend on the size of the rubber band you're using. As part of my formulation process, I did try packaging this in a tin instead of tubes and found that it was so hard that I was just rubbing the tin right on my mouth to try and apply the lip balm. So yeah, I recommend sticking with tubes. When everything has melted through and the beeswax will be the last thing to vanish, we are ready to carry on. Add the cool down phase ingredients, stir to combine, and then quickly but carefully pour the melted lip butter into the tubes. I like to loop back to the first tubes I filled to top them off. They'll start to settle down and can start to form a divot on the top before you're fully done pouring. If the lip butter solidifies before you're done, quickly dip the measuring cup back into the hot water bath to get things moving again, and then carry on. Once you're out of lip butter batter, say that 10 times fast, leave the tubes out on the counter to set up. If you want to even out the tops of the tubes a bit once they've set up, grab your hairdryer. I'm using high heat, low speed, and my diffuser so I don't accidentally blast molten lip butter all over the place. Guess how I know that can happen? Once the lip butters have hardened up, you just need to cap them, wipe them down with a bit of paper towel. I know I spilled at least once, and you are done. Now that you've got a super giftable, ultra creamy hot chocolate lip butter, I highly recommend clicking here to learn how to make my hot chocolate natural body butter to go with it. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe and I'll see you next time.